Hello and welcome to this month's episode of The Legal Scoop, the web series that we do here at LOMAD, where we talk about recent wins that we've had. I'm joined today by my colleagues, Melissa Day, who needs no introduction, and James Cousins. And today they're joining me to talk about a sort of a unique win, which is that we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary as a firm. So why don't you say hello?
Hi, everybody. It's great to be here.
Hello. Great to have you. So to start off, I mean, 10 years, it's obviously a huge accomplishment. Why don't we just briefly discuss the philosophy that we feel that got us to this point?
So when I first decided to take that leap of faith and start a law firm, I'd been working at a litigation firm and had developed a workers' comp practice there that really had to dovetail into the practicalities of the litigation defense model. And so I developed a workers' comp model based on the litigation model, which is really that you get claims referred to you and you develop close working relationships with the adjusters and the carriers that refer the work to you. And it was not like a stroke of brilliance or anything on my part. It was literally, I couldn't do a volume business for comp while trying to bill hourly for workers or for litigation matters. So I took that model and applied it to workers' comp, and people loved it. And so that's really the genesis for what I believed was a fresh new way to approach workers' compensation claims, which was to treat them with the level of intensity and close scrutiny that they deserved, because up until that time, at least definitely in my workers' comp defense practice, it had been a volume business.
Sure. So it being 10 years, I mean, that's obviously an accomplishment. What does that mean to you?
What it really means to me is that I discovered that I have an amazing skill for finding incredible talent. And the very first was my husband. He helped me get the firm off the ground. But when it comes to attorneys then and finding additional staff to work at the firm, being able to find people with an intellectual curiosity who had a passion for the subject matter, I feel like I have a real talent for that. And that's how James came on board very early on. I was down at the board and just really enjoyed talking. I remember the case that we talked about was Zamora.
Yeah.
And he was wrong, but
James loved Zamora.
I had really high hopes that it was going to be a lot more seminal than it was, but it moved us in the right direction.
Yeah, and his passion for the subject matter and his obvious the time that he'd spent thinking about it and planning to use the case law to his advantage, unfortunately at that time for claimants, was something that I really admired. And and when I had an opportunity to bring him on board, I snapped it up.
That's great. So I guess going forward, what do you think would be a win 10 years from now when you're talking to me?
Well, the industry is sort of turning in the direction that we've taken it a little bit. There's a lot of emphasis from our peer competitors about individualized handling. Like we were very much the earliest on the scene about providing this sort of very matter specific handling, where we wanted to take the case from this, I've heard some people call it cradle to grave handling, which I think is a little bit, oversimplification of what's supposed to be going on. But, continued development, our firm grows and improves on a daily basis in hundreds of little ways. Decisions here and there about how we're going to handle a file, internal processes, personnel. You know, in 10 years, the success of the firm would be a handful more lawyers that really fit the mindset, and another 10 years of really building the reputation from just, you know, from it went from our initial mantra into handling files into something very much more formalized, and now it's becoming second nature. And having more attorneys doing that and developing that reputation statewide, where it's solidified, where we're sitting at the sort of the top of those peer groups, and people can say the firm that we want to handle the difficult litigated matters is LOMAD. You know, they don't need, anyone can do a single hearing coverage, and that's sort of
Wow.
almost anyone, but that is not what we're designed to do, and quite frankly, that's not what we want to do.
No.
That's not providing the best service to our client. And so, you know, it's all about having the industry statewide recognize that that's where we are. It's a difficult goal to meet, right? But it's
Honestly,
it's
if we could just find another half dozen Brendans, we'd be all set.
That's true. I think I said that earlier today.
Well, thank you so much for talking about, 10 years of LOMAD. Hopefully we'll have 10 more years of the Legal Scoop. We'll go into syndication eventually. So
Sounds good.
those checks. So thank you for those of you who watch and have been watching for the past a little bit over a year. If you're interested in any of our other content, we have another video series with Melanie Daly called The Daily Grind, where she talks about just notable things going on in comp world and things that might be helpful to you. And please also keep an eye out for our newsletter. If you're interested, you can always email us at hearings to get access to our VIP content, which is our newsletter, our videos, anything like that, and even some memes. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next month, hopefully to talk about some more wins.
Thanks for having us, Brendan.
Thanks,
Thank
Brendan.
you.